You ever have that feeling where you're not exactly sad, but you're definitely not happy either? You're just kind of stuck in this weird in between space where everything feels a little heavy, but at the same time, also a little light? Okay, let's get into this. Because that feeling, it's not a sign that something's wrong. Actually, it's a sign that something is changing in a big way.
This line it gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's such a powerful way to reframe that whole confusing emotional state. It's not about despair, it's about expansion. It's that feeling of stretching, of shedding an old skin, and yeah, sometimes it really aches. Because let's be real, growth isn't always a gentle process.
It's this total paradox, right? That feeling of unraveling where you're literally letting go of old parts of yourself. Your heart feels heavy with the weight of everything you're releasing, but it also feels light with the sheer possibility of what's coming next. This isn't devastation we're talking about, it's transformation.
So that's the million-dollar question. If this process is so necessary and, ultimately a good thing, why does it have to come with this struggle? Why does becoming a new version of yourself feel so incredibly uncomfortable sometimes? Well, a huge part of the answer is actually hiding in the patterns of our own minds.
A lot of that ache comes from something called cognitive distortions. And honestly, a really powerful way to think about these is as negative instructions that your subconscious mind is just firing off. They're like these automatic, unhelpful commands telling us how to see the world, especially when we're in that vulnerable state of growth.
And here are some of those instructions in action. Sound familiar? Your mind might tell you to always expect the worst possible outcome. That's catastrophizing. Or maybe it commands you to ignore anything good, basically filtering out any and all positives. And oh, the classic one, blame yourself for things you can't control. These little instructions create that feeling of being totally stuck, even when you're actually moving forward. So, here's the deal. We have to start by changing that internal script. We've got to give our minds a new set of instructions. And this whole journey really begins with a fundamental shift in our mindset, a new way of relating to ourselves and our experiences. Okay, let's look at what we can call the solitude shift. The old, fear-based instruction screams that silence is loud and dangerous, that being alone is a punishment. But the new mindset? It sees solitude as a sacred pause. The silence stops being about what you lack and starts to actually sound like you, your true self. It becomes a safe space to remember who you are without all that outside noise.
And that brings us to the next big one, shifting from performative strength to authentic softness. We're so often taught that strength means being a rock, being unshakable. But real strength, that's having the courage to be messy, to admit you're tired, to ask for help, and yeah, to cry without feeling like you have to apologize for it. It's about choosing what's real over an exhausting performance.
All right, so a new mindset is amazing, but how do we actually make it real? This is where the rubber meets the road. It's where we turn that new way of thinking into daily action. We have to actively practice this new way of being, turning the idea of self-love into a real, tangible, everyday thing. Now, here's a super simple but really effective framework for that. It's all about being intentional, visualizing where you want to go, taking time to reflect on where you are right now, making sure to celebrate the small wins along the way, and practicing mindfulness to stay present through the whole messy, beautiful process. And this practice, it doesn't have to be some huge, monumental task. It can be found in these small, almost sacred acts. Cooking a beautiful meal just for yourself, with candles and everything, as if you're the guest of honor. Dancing alone in your kitchen. Buying yourself flowers just because. Lighting incense, and just reminding yourself that you are your home. These little choices send a powerful message to your subconscious. You are worthy of care. And really, this is what it's all about. This is the core of it. It's about taking ownership. It's a declaration that you're done waiting for someone else to give you validation. You are actively, intentionally choosing to see and love yourself right here, right now. So when you combine that mindset shift with that daily practice, you land right here at the art of blooming. And listen, this is not about reaching some perfect, finished state. Not at all. It's about learning to embrace the ongoing, beautiful mess of the process itself.
So let's make one last crucial swap in our internal language. Instead of telling yourself, I'm broken, I want you to know that I'm blooming. Instead of saying I'm sad, understand that I'm shedding everything you've outgrown. See the difference? It's a process, not a problem.
This, right here, is the freedom you find on the other side of that ache.
It's the deep understanding that joy isn't something you have to earn or wait to be given. It is something you can create for yourself in your own life without needing a single person's permission. So if you take just one thing away from all of this today, please let it be this. That ache you might be feeling, that weird sense of being in between, it is not evidence of failure. You are not broken. You are blooming.
And that leaves us with one final thought to carry with you. Whether it's taking a quiet moment for yourself, doing one small act of kindness for you, or just catching and reframing a negative thought, how can you, right now, today, hold just a little more space for your own beautiful, messy, and totally necessary growth?